You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, April 21st. Happy Easter Monday, everybody. Good morning, Valdez.
I'm Valdez.
That's right. And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show so much to get to this weekend. What a long weekend. Valdez working round the clock. I had event after event after event. All good times. A lot of things to recap throughout the week. First, Sleep Theory stole the show at the Pima County Fair. Thank you to all who came out to the Pima County Fair, braved the winds and the cold weather that night, and enjoyed the three bands from Ashes to New, Sleep Theory, and Pop Evil. They were all super kind and put on great shows, and it was great to see everybody there. Then on Saturday night, your Tucson Roadrunners clinched a spot in the playoffs. They're in the first round of the playoffs. Yes, absolutely. Exciting deal. And I take not full credit, but an assist. I take it. I'm an assist. Okay, so here's the deal. Before we get into serious world news, Valdez, this is why I'm getting an assist here. Now, Friday night it didn't work. Okay,
Ooh.
We got spanked. Really? You know, Crystal and Yaz, they did their best to hype up the crowd, but maybe the crowd wasn't into it. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, they lost to the better team that night. And so then I'm like, well, we got to turn it around. We have to win this game. If we don't win, we are out of the playoffs altogether, right? So everything was on the line. So I put on my very first jersey that I was given by the Tucson Roadrunners in 2017. It's now 8 years old. It's a little yellow. It's a white jersey, but it's yellowish now with some chicken wing stains and, you know, like years of experience in there. And I never washed it out of luck, for luck.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And so it's musty and very lucky. And we ended up winning, of course. And, you know, the boys are looking at me maybe like, you did this, but I didn't take any credit for that. Either way, unfortunately, the first round of the playoffs, there will be no home games. So we have to win the first round of the playoffs to have home games for the second round. Okay. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out on our Tucson Roadrunners and wishing them the best of luck in that. All right, so we had that going on. Of course, this weekend was also a Wrestlemania weekend. It was Easter weekend, and it was 420 weekend. Rico and I went out to a Tucson Doobie event on Saturday. I got some fun stories from that.
Nice.
And that we'll get to. And so all this, it was just like a nonstop weekend, enough to lead us, you know, walking like we are part of season 2 of the Walking Dead, it's Walking Dead. And it is, no, it's not the Walking Dead, it's The Last of Us. So we feel like we are the mushroom zombies of The Last of Us, but you know, we have a lot to get to, and unfortunately, we woke up today to some dismal news. Very sad news on this Easter Monday, as Pope Francis has passed away at the age of 88. And of course, this is said to be of natural causes. He was in poor health this entire year, and pneumonia was definitely the case that he had over the past couple of weeks. He was struggling with that. Yesterday, he had some pretty prominent visitors, and today he was gone. And of course, it's unfortunate. Now we're going through the whole procedure of all the cardinals getting together, about 120 of them, deciding who the new pope's going to be, and then waiting for that white smoke to come out of the church.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot about that process.
Right. It's a big deal. And I forgot too, because it didn't seem like it was that long that Pope Francis was given the title. He was the first Latin American pope. He was a very kind pope. You know, I always thought, you know, and I'm not a religious man. I'm not Catholic by any means. I'm technically Christian, but you know, like his message was always love one another, and you know, equality and a lot of things that universally should be accepted, right? And for a little bit, he was kind of punk rock in the Catholic Church. He kind of went against some of the old guard, but he did it in a way that was compassionate, and I think that's what his legacy will be known as.
I feel the new pope should be a stoner, because if anyone loves love, it's a good stoner.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like I said, I was at the Whistle Stop this weekend and around a bunch of stoners.
I wanted to go to that so bad.
It was cool, a lot of good food and good smoke, and my car still smells like weed, like really bad. And I was like, don't pull me over right now. And it's legal, but I'm sober, I swear. As far as Pope Francis, he was a simple man. He lived his life simply. He didn't have like, luxuries. I mean, he was very notorious for living in such of like a subdued way with no bells and whistles. It just makes sense that his funeral will be the same. They're announcing that his funeral will be with no bells and whistles. There's no date set for the funeral yet. The pontiff approved a new funeral guidelines for popes last year. His body will be moved to a chapel right away and placed in a coffin immediately. The funeral will be simple, skipping many of the fancy touches that the Holy Father didn't like. See, he was just against these luxuries, right? He's like, nah, it sounds like too bougie for me.
I'll just take a grilled cheese. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. I'm a pope with the people. I just just tell people the thoughts and prayers and remember me.
Pope for the people.
Exactly. He's the Scott Layman of the Catholic Church. And so, he didn't like any of that stuff. So he's going to be buried outside the Vatican. Francis will be the first. Pope Francis will be the first pope buried outside the Vatican in a century.
Oh,
yeah. He will be in. At St. Mary Major, one of the oldest churches in Rome, and the one he would visit for prayer before trips abroad. So, he was old school to every method. Yeah, I'm telling you, when we look back at this Pope, I think they're going to look back at Pope Francis and say, he talked the talk and he walked the walk. And he was a humble man, and, he was a nice man, good man. And this is, of course, public perception. Don't come at me with what you write on the internet that might say otherwise, right? On some other dark web BS, like, publicly speaking, he was a man who lived simply and preached love. And then, and by no accounts did that ever sway. So, Pope Francis passed away at the age of 88. All right, so we'll keep an eye on the smoke in the air, and it won't be the clouds left over from 420. But we have a great show lined up for you today and all this week. All this week, we're going to be hooking you up with tickets for Pierce the Veil. They got a big show happening up in Phoenix in June. All right, I like how you're saying smash that like button. Yes, smash that like button for the beefster, the beefer, or whatever. All right.
Or whatever.
We're on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. That was new music-ish from Falling in Reverse, Bad Guy. We have more new music with Nothing More with Eric V of I Prevail, House of Sand I'm going to play for you. But we are live on the podcast broadcast and in studio. Very special guest. He is going to be participating in Meet the Chefs with his attempt to be Tucson's next Iron Chef. We got Chef Jose Conteros from Amelia's Kitchen back in studio. Chef Jose, good to see you again.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Of course, dude. Now we're going to talk all things, Meet the Chef and Amelia's Kitchen, because Amelia's Kitchen has been blowing up nationally because of a recent James Beard Award nomination. We're going to talk about that with Chef Jose and what the game plan may be going into Meet the Chefs right after this new music for Nothing More. But we are keeping the conversation going on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because we'll be back with Chef Jose right after this on Rock 102.1. You see how my words kind of sped up? I was like, I gotta get it all in there. Bam. All right. But yes, so we're talking about all that and more with Chef Jose when he came back. And just recently, here, I gotta pull up my Instagram. Or this is probably on KFMA's Instagram. I just saw one of those food influencers. You probably get that all the time. As a chef and restaurant owner, be honest. Is it somewhat annoying that everyone's like a food influencer, wants to like a little interview, do like a reel or something? Or are you just like, free advertising? That's very nice.
No. I mean, it's hard work. It's tough,
Yeah.
The kitchen is it's a passion.
Yeah.
Passion for me. And then, I don't know. That's my feelings from the kitchen.
So when someone comes in and wants to film, right, while like you're in the middle, has anyone ever asked something that was like a little too much, like, hey, let me film inside your kitchen right now, and it's like dinner time, rush, right? You're like, thanks, but no thanks. You ever get in those situations where, because I feel like sometimes people would take liberties to be like, well, you don't understand. I got 17 followers here. I'm going to put your place on the map. Well, blow you up, right? Do you ever get those situations as a restaurant owner?
No, not really. Actually, yeah, some people come to try out, like influencers. Hey, I would like to record a little bit in the kitchen, but we let
You let them
in. Yeah, we let them
nice.
in, and then they see how is the team inside the kitchen.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you make everything from scratch there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
This is something hard that we do every
Yeah.
day.
Amelia is in the conversation for best everything. Just pick the category, right? Like best birria, they're in the conversation. Best breakfast burritos, they're in the conversation. Best chimichangas, they're in the conversations. Best fajitas, they're in the conversation. Best cocktails, you got some good cocktails there too. You're in the conversation. And now you are getting the recognition of potentially being some best in the country. With the James Beard Award nomination, that puts you in the conversation. Pretty exciting stuff. And you saw like a night and day difference after the nomination came out of more and more people visiting the 2 locations of Amelia's and saying that they come from different parts of the country and they need to try your stuff out.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we get the nomination. After that, we get a slam in the restaurant. We got a lot of people from Tucson that we didn't even know about Melias.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people. We have a lot of support for the community. And then I just want to say thank you, Tucson, for this, and for my family, my friends.
Yeah.
And my wife, Veronica, always behind me, taking care. Is something amazing for the restaurant, for my team.
Yeah. I feel like your wife too. She's probably like a businesswoman behind the scenes. Like as a chef, you're like an artist, right? You could see that kind of Veronica is like, go, pushing it and forward, make sure everything's out there. I see her presence on social media, constantly like promoting it and marketing and doing all that stuff. So it is true what they say. Besides, like every successful man is a successful woman, right? Or a strong man, strong woman, something like that.
Yeah, he's the first person that believes in me,
Yeah,
and what I do, and then is behind me all the time, taking care, and then yeah, she's the only person believing me to start this.
do you ever like express self-doubt and she'd like slap you around and be like, stop that, like put you in your place, kind of?
No, she's gonna calm person, Veronica, but yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So she's not throwing a chocolate at you and be like, no, you're the best chef in the world. Shut up, right? We're talking to Chef Jose Contreras of Amelia's Kitchen here, live on the podcast broadcast. And I will share with you right now. Now, Chef Jose has a very prestigious, award nomination right now because he is a 2025 James Beard Award semifinalist, which is a huge honor. And obviously when it comes to Tucson, we have a great culinary scene. We're a city of gastronomy, right? And so to put yourself in that category along with so many greats, when the bar is already high, it is fantastic. So how did you become a nominee for the James Beard Award?
Honestly, I don't even know how that works, but what I can say is, yeah, with the city of gastronomy, we have a lot of good restaurants in Tucson.
Mhm.
It's a bless for me to be nominated, and that high level is a national recognition thing that I couldn't believe it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But we made it, and I think it's gonna come out more restaurants from Tucson because we have a great restaurants here, Mexicans and other.
Oh, we have the
Fine.
best Mexican food in the country, hands down. And, I think we're competing with Mexico with best Mexican food, which is, a tall order as well. I love this post that you put, both Tucson Foodie, put together with Amelia's Tucson, which you should be following on Instagram if you love seeing this great food porn. But what's fascinating, of course, Amelia's Kitchen is named after your Nana, your grandmother, correct?
Yeah, my grandma. I just grew up in her kitchen, watching her cook, learning from her. Is just not just about serving food. It's more like a culture, roots.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from her, and this is my passion. I start doing my passion for cooking.
Yeah, and so the picture of you with your Nana there next to the nomination thing is so beautiful. Obviously, she would be immensely proud of that. So which recipe on your menu like reminds you of your grandmother the most? Where is it like a spot on recipe from her?
I think it's the birria because the way we cook is kind of 8 hours, 9 hours, and
Yeah.
we cook many times in Mexico with her on like outside the house with a charcoal oven.
Yeah.
It's different, and we put it in on outside the house. All the ingredients that we do is more like a local ingredients over there, so different tastes definitely. But yeah, I think it's more like the more important the birria.
Yeah. Now, do you do the process the same way? Do you charcoal? Do you cook it like at home and then bring it in, or no? You cooking it slow in the kitchen there?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. We respect the time, but yeah, definitely it's different.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah.
same.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense too. So yeah, Amelia's Kitchen now has 2 locations, right? So there's the one that's on Grant, and then the one that's kind of like on the north side there on. Remind me of the crossroads again. And was it?
Grant and Craycroft and Oracle and Rural Cell.
Yeah. And the Oracle one continues to grow. So people are stopping by and checking that out. Now, of course, Meet the Chef is coming up here. You participated in Meet the Chef last year. This year's reigning champion, Chef Anthony Germone from Oban is a champ because he had that sushi dish. And that sushi dish, that was the bite of the night. That dish popped. But I didn't think he was going to advance because it was a sushi chef doing a sushi dish, but it impressed the judges enough. He was able to advance. But, you had the delicious birria. You had all different types of fantastic food going into it to where you were like my early favorite all the way up until it was a big surprise that Chef Anthony was able to advance. But he had the goods to become the Iron Chef and upset our 2-time reigning defending champion and Chef Kenneth Foy from Dante's Fire. Going into this year, do you approach it differently? Do you have like a game plan, or are you just going to continue to stick with what you know, and that's creating food with love that's inspired by your grandmother?
Yeah, I think it's a tough competition with those guys. They're one of the best chefs in Tucson, and then I think I'm gonna go with just thinking about it. Maybe I'm gonna go with something different this year. Like the last year was like chicken with mole. Maybe this year I go with the birria.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it, but I know it's gonna be a tough competition.
Yeah. It's like you're going to get the charcoal going outside your house, huh?
Should we get it? Bring it to the competition.
And honestly, for those who are a trained palate, right? And obviously love like birria, as everyone in town does, like a trained like palate can pick up on the differences, the subtle differences, and what makes a birria great and beyond great and stuff. So yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, that is one of those favorites. It's fantastic though. I love your restaurant. I love the way that your restaurants look, both of them. And it is a very chill vibe too. It's beautiful, like decor. So when you go there, you eat, it feels like you could make it a special occasion, or you could just go there for lunch and enjoy some delicious food that's going on. Any recommendations for our listeners out there if they're trying out one of the 2 locations for the first time?
If you go to like Oracle location, we have a little bit more bigger kitchen, so I can offer like grills and molcajetes. So it's something different to the other location. That I don't have enough space. Yeah, of course, Amelia's molcajetes can be like with different one to the other molcajetes because of lobster, and that way we do.
Do you have lobster there, huh?
We do.
Yeah, on the north location. Nice. All right.
Chef Jose, compa, you look and sound like you just walked off a telenovela. Like you're just so,
he's a good looking man.
Bro.
You usually don't trust skinny chefs, but this skinny chef knows what he's
the
doing.
voice and everything, like he could be an actor easily. So if this chef thing don't pan out for you, bro, you got a career in Hollywood.
Oh, thank you. But
Yeah.
the
I
only
think
thing
he's
I
hitting
know
on you.
is
Yeah.
just cook.
Right. Yeah. Well, definitely one of my early favorites, going into this competition, and always one of my forever favorites here
Thank
locally with Amelia's Kitchen. So keep up the great work, chef, and good luck in the James Beard nomination. I'd love the next time I talk to you being the prestigious honor of being a James Beard winner, right? Or that's how they do it, right? Nominee award winner. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the title?
Would be, I don't know if it's the title, but that would still be awesome if he won.
Yeah. Have you checked out the competition that you're being nominated? Because this is a Southwest division that you're being nominated in. So what is it? New Mexico, and so like the Four Corners basically in a way that are part of this region. So have you read through the list of some of the other nominees just to kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
good.
we do actually just check it out the list, and then more surprised me. I'm the only Mexican restaurant on the list, the only Mexican chef.
Yeah.
On the Southwest. Wow.
Yeah, that's
couldn't
huge.
believe it.
What a
couldn't believe
huge
it.
honor. So you're representing the entire like culinary culture of Mexican food going into this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I just find out that I'm the only Mexican there, so I'm like, what?
Nice.
There's many restaurants in Arizona, many.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And great restaurants.
Mhm.
So it's like I say, it's a bless for me, for my team, for Tucson. Everybody's looking in Tucson, and that's another great thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you're an excellent representation of Tucson and the region and just the food all together. So again, I wish you the best of luck in both these competitions. The James Beard, I know that it's not necessarily a competition. You just keep doing what you're doing, and they'll recognize it and then see if you'll get that award, which is well deserved. And of course, the Meet the Chefs competition is a competition. Bring your A game, and I can't wait to see you in the finals to face off against Chef Anthony. And I think 2025 might be the year where you're just racking up all those dubs. So I clear some shelf space off for those trophies, my friend.
No. Thank you. I think, it's a great year to 2025 for us. Yeah. We started with a good, tremendous nomination, and we're going to keep it up.
Yeah, you are. Nice. I love it. Well, Amelia's Kitchen is the place of the restaurants, the two restaurants you got to check out for Chef Jose. And you check out their delicious menu, ameliaskitchen.com, right? And that's AMELIAS kitchen.com. Did I spell that right?
AmeliasTucson.com or AmeliasFood.com.
Oh, okay.
One of the others. Yeah, you spelled it right.
I spelled Amelia's right. Yeah. Just got everything else wrong. Fair enough.
Can't win them all, man.
Yeah. But Chef Jose, thanks for coming in again. Good luck at Meet the Chef. We look forward to tasting the delicious food that you'll have to offer there. And like I said, I'll look forward to seeing you in the headlines, winning that James Beard Award, and in the finals for Iron Chef. All right, let's hit the reset on the FM side. We'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Be back after music from Daughtry. I'm Rock 102.1. Clear. Yeah, excellent job. I can't wait for that. And for people who are gonna like check out lunch today, pick an item on your menu where it's like you got to try this. This represents us the best.
I think the birria, definitely
the
the birria, because it's one of the plates you can make burrito, quesabirria, nachos.
Yeah.
So I think the birria was, if I recommend.
And you do birria breakfast burrito too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do breakfast burrito, and we have some vegetarian options.
Yeah.
As well.
That's for my daughter. Yeah, she loves the place too. But yeah, she moved, so I've been eating just meat, a lot of meat lately. Just all meat.
As you should.
Yeah, as I should.
There's no vegetables, just meat.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, brother. All right, we're gonna hit the reset here. Earlier this morning, we did F My Life without Weirdo, but she was around in case you missed it. Went a little something like this. I was talking to my husband about replacing a tire on my car. Blue. I don't have a spare, and it didn't get paid until the next day. That's my life in this scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any kind of car problems and you're broke.
Yeah, man. I mean, I had that when I blew out my tire in Mexico, and then with Rico's like, it's okay. We'll just pop on the spare, and I'm like, yeah, about that. I drive to foreign countries without thinking that far in advance.
That just happened to my friend last night. She popped her tire and she didn't have a spare, so I had to go on like, no jack, no spare.
Yeah, I know. That's how I am. Like, just ride. I like to ride dangerously, son. And if things go wrong, they're just catastrophically wrong. There's no way to fix that. I even went to Discount the other day to just fill up my tires, and they're like, "You want me to fill up your spare?" And I'm like, "No need." Guys, like,
save your air.
Yeah. All right, so definitely F My Life. It's very relatable. All right, Kenzie sent me this next one. She said, my boyfriend asked me if I wear makeup much. Expecting him to say something about my natural beauty, I replied with an honest no. He smiled softly, gently squeezed my shoulder, and said, maybe you should.
Oh.
Holy hell. Wow.
What a D.
Oh, what?
Yes.
All right.
She should ask him to use Blue Chew, and he's like, no, I don't. Well, maybe you should start.
Hey, well, you know what? That's going to be beneficial for both of them. You know, I'm telling you. I've seen the before and after effects of Blue Chew. I'm still big thumbs up on this side. All right, final F My Life of the day. Sent to me anonymously, and you'll understand why. I really felt for this one. So a female, she said, Beef, my boyfriend just left me for my stepsister. He's been cheating on me with her for the past 6 months and got her pregnant.
Oh.
I also found out that my stomach pains are due to the fact that I am also pregnant.
Oh, no.
My family could officially qualify for Jerry Springer. If Jerry Springer was still a thing, absolutely, you would be the lead segment. That's called segment A.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. F my life in this scenario.
Yeah.
It's very Tucson, right?
So Tucson. Oh, my God.
All right. What do you say, Valdez?
That's a big ol' effort.
Oh.
That would have been more Tucson if she would have turned lesbian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still
Yeah, I
time.
was gonna say there's time.
There's still time. All right, definitely F my life. Thank you for sending that email and good luck to you. Keep those emails coming, beefvegan@kfma.com. We'll hit the reset on the FM side and get ready to give away a 4-pack of tickets for the Pima County Fair when we return. It's Rock 102.1. What did you send? Did you send Valdez out to get snacks? Is that what happened?
I did.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Okay, I know you're hungry, and he's super kind. All right, and here are the snacks that Valdez provide. I'll take some of that too. All right, let's.
I mean, you just brought me some sweet and salty nut.
Yeah, I know. He's a sweetheart like that. All right, I do want to share that Haley Joel Osment video, which I'm going to do right
Green
now.
Day?
No, the dude from
I
Sixth
know, I'm
Sense.
just messing
Oh,
with
okay.
I'm not that dumb.
Look, I'm sharing this video real quick, but before I share this video, I just want to say this. Kanye West just tweeted out, he out-Kanye'd himself just now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was possible.
I'm telling you,
Right.
it's crazy. He's promoting a new album, apparently. He has a song called Cousins. He just tweeted this out.
What?
He said, this song is called Cousins, about my cousin that's locked in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years ago after I told him that we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14. Tweet sent.
That is a long beeger.
Yeah. And what?
Is this real life? Is this
So,
happening?
like, is he taking responsibility of, like, the reason my homie did this is because cousin did this is because I showed him porn?
And we acted it out until I was 14. And it's like, what is your cousin's age now? Because, you showed him this stuff when you were when he was 6. The cousin was 6. Were you 7? Tell me you were 7.
Right.
Tell me you were 6 and a
also
half.
kid, right.
Tell me you were 5. But yeah, like, tell me this was all just made up to sell records. Actually,
we were having a good show and having a good time, and all of a sudden, boom, just ran into a brick wall.
Kanye did it. First off, we're still having a good time. We're still having a good show.
What?
Kanye did that. I didn't do that. Kanye did that. All right, now let's Haley Joel Osment. We got a couple videos I'll share with you. This is his arrest that we talked about earlier, but we got to see it to believe it. Body cam footage, of course.
I've been kidnapped.
This is him in the back.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just running his mouth. You'll wish you treated me nicer.
Yes.
Now, fair warning, I think he probably does do a Jewish slang word there, or slur, if you will.
I was decent to you. And you are fucking.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's bleeped. Rhymes with bike. And then he's laughing about it. The guy is coked out and drunk off his ass.
Mm.
Oh, it's hard to hear that.
We're almost there. Just try to adjust in your seat a little bit.
I can't.
Oh, he's talking about how uncomfortable he was.
And he's all laughing.
Try to angle your body this way and got to put your back against the door jam there.
You know, it'd be great. It'd be great while he's being irate. If the cops, he's just chilling. And he's like, so what was Bruce Willis like?
Right.
That's
Right.
cool. You still talk to him or, that was fun. Macaulay Culkin, you guys hang out? Macaulay Culkin, you guys were kids and famous at the same time. That's cool. Like if he started like fanboying while still like arresting him.
Man, I gotta give it up to cops. Like the way, especially the good ones, they do not escalate situations. They just don't respect. He just was just letting him go off in the back and just not saying anything.
In that situation, you already got the dub.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're just like,
Right.
hey, I did that. And you're in the back, you're cuffed. So yeah, run your mouth. Dude. It sucks to be you.
And it's like being a parent, you just kind of tune it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
literally,
true.
they're just like blah blah blah, and you're just thinking about like Waffle House later, or all the paperwork this a-hole's causing you.
Yeah,
there's
it's
that.
causing paperwork. And again, so the story was he got wasted in Mammoth. He was skiing or snowboarding. He had when they caught him because he was so intoxicated that they had to arrest him for it. He had his helmet on backwards. So
Yeah, he also had a GoPro on that.
yeah, with a
too.
GoPro on it, which is insane. They found cocaine on him. So, he claimed that he didn't recall any of it, that he blacked out. But my statement, and again, if it rhymes, it tends to be true. When you're yacked out, you don't black out.
Mhm.
So,
It keeps the lights on.
It does keep the lights on. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm sure he regrets. But in the moment, he was remembering, and I'm sure when he woke up the next day, he still remembered a lot of it.
Mhm.
So if he went to sleep at all, depends on that Hollywood blow. How good was it?
Yeah.
Let's say. But I mean, at the same time, you feel his pain to a certain extent. He just lost his home in a California fire, and he looks like Haley Joel Osment, which is not. I know. I mean, he's an adorable kid, right? He peaked at 12, so that's gonna fuck you
he
up
did
in
not
life,
age
dude.
well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Yeah, dude. Even being famous is just like, the guy's single. He didn't have a wife bail him out. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast. We just played that audio from Haley Joel Osment getting arrested, saying that he blacked out before he went full Mel Gibson in the back of a cop car.
Right, and I get it. I don't want anybody to lose their home, but like, you're gonna be fine. You have money. Like,
He already lost his home, and not necessarily just because you started a movie when you were 12 doesn't mean you're like rich for life.
okay, yes, he started a movie, but he has still been working, guys. Like he's been in a film or TV pretty much once a year since then.
Right, but
So
he's
as
not Ben
long-
Affleck. He's not
No, I'm
starring
not-
in leads and getting all these blockbusters.
He makes more than I do, so
I'm not
he's able to
saying
survive.
that he has
I guess.
$200 million, but you got insurance on that house. Like again, I don't want anybody like losing their home. That sucks, but like you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and Valdez, let's save the eating for when we're off the air, real quick, right? So he's like corn nuts or something. I'm like, I'd turn the mic off. I get it;
Raisins.
they're delicious. Let me tell you a story of how I saved a woman's life this Saturday at the Tucson Doobie event on 419.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so this was at the place called Whistle Stop. Whistle Stop is a venue that normally was like a wedding venue,
Mhm.
which is right by the tracks there off of Stone. A very cool looking place, right? It looked like a former train stop. That's probably what it was too. And it's just so vintage. It's like laid out on a couple acres land, and there was a bunch of vendors there, and it was a full-blown party, bunch of food. But it was one of those cannabis events, right?
Right.
So people were partaking, and all of a sudden, I was talking to a former sponsor of the show, actually, Josh from Vapor Pros. Shout out to Josh. He lost a bunch of weight and didn't even recognize him, but he has a very distinguished voice. So I was like, oh my God. So we're broing down, right? Chilling, catching up, having a good time. All of a sudden, I hear a thud right behind me. Boom. Woman drops to the ground. Right?
Oh no.
She's completely out, right? To where it looks like she's out. There's an older woman right behind her, like, oh no, somebody call 911, right? And she's frantic,
Right.
right? And people are like getting a little stir and they're a little stoned. They don't know what to do. They're kind of freaking out. I can see the panic in the eyes, and the tension is rising in the area. And I was like, I've seen this before. I got this. I was like, Josh, hand me a bottle of water. Right, so he hands me a bottle of water, and
You're all cool, calm, and collected.
100%, dude. In times of emergency and stuff, like something takes over, I squat down gently beside her, and so she's still like coherent a little bit, and she's laying on the ground. And I'm like, "You okay?" And she's like, I think so." I'm like, "Did you just take a dab?" And she's like, "I did." Like, yeah. Sip this water and ride it out, girl. You're gonna be fine. I swear to God. And she's like, "I appreciate you." I was like, I know you do. And I went up, everything's going to be fine. She'll get up here and just when she's ready. Okay. And then I walked away. Saved the day, walked away. And she survived, and the event went off without a hitch after that and stuff. And I didn't get any medals or awards. I'm just patting myself on the back on my show.
Just being a good shaman.
Yeah, dude.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, sometimes, and this is why I don't dab, but luckily I had to work later that night, so I didn't even partake. But I feel that pain. I know what it's like. Hit a dab and say, oh no, things aren't going to go well for the next 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, she was able to ride it out, and hydration is key.
No, and honestly, you are doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Yeah, because my girlfriend went to, one of the weed bars or whatever, and she got really, really way too high.
Mm-hmm.
And the nicest woman had fanny pack full of snacks and lemon drinks and water. And then she's like, and that she talks about this woman all the time because she's like, she took me on a journey and helped me out. And I'm just sitting there next to her. I was like, this woman was next to you for 7 minutes.
Yeah, right. But that's a forever memory.
Right.
Now.
Forever memory of this sweet woman just coming and just helping her out. Because I think it was a dab thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I looked like to her, because it's the day before Easter, like chubby Jesus, right? Because, it was bright outside when it happened. It was daytime, right? And I'm squatting down and I'm super calm and, peaceful and get the water and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just I fade off into the distance.
Were you wearing your ivory
again.
hoodie?
No.
You know what I mean? It could have been ethereal. It could have been a whole thing.
No first aid was administered, no CPR, nothing. You're just basically Bobby Boucher, have some water. And then that was it. So where was the life-saving?
No, sometimes all you need is a little bit of water, dude. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. The panic, anxiety, and all that stuff. It's all just about a little hydration. Water for the soul, bro. Yeah. And, so it saved her. And, you don't have to go to extraordinary measures to save someone's life sometimes. Sometimes just a simple, kind gesture that lets them know that they are okay in that moment. And then I told her to ride it out, ride that wave, baby, ride that wave. But I said it in a less creepy way at the time. And like I said, she responded back with a kind, I appreciate you. And then off like dust in the wind, off to the next, and made sure everyone else made it out all right, So I don't know. How many lives did you save this weekend? Okay.
Not this weekend.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say you saved a life. Settle down, EMT.
No. Okay, look, I understand that you've done EMT stuff, and this is not the first life that I have saved. And this is not the most dramatic life that I've saved, right? But in this situation, at the time, the elderly lady who was going to call 911 and freaking out, and the woman that was on the ground, both considered me a lifesaver. So it's really up to, people's perception at the time, whether or not it was an actual life in danger. Maybe for a split second, they thought that, but it didn't matter. I came in as a cooler head to say, no, you're not dying.
Well,
drink some water.
The type of event you are, that split second in their mind could be 4 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, dude, it was an eternity for them. And she'll probably be fantasizing about me for an eternity on top of that.
Okay.
I was weed Jesus. I don't know why you're trying to take this away from us. Me and the women that were involved in this scenario that I obviously saved. So you're welcome, by the way, if you listen to the show, which you probably don't because you would probably ask for an autograph at the same time.
Oh, my God.
All right.
All right, step too far. I'm not backing you anymore.
Fine. We got music on the way from Foo Fighters and System of a Down, keeping the conversation going on the podcast broadcast. Which, as soon as I said that last comment, they're like, a couple people were like, I'm out. That's where
that was the hardest no selling I have ever seen, Valdez. Jesus.
Yeah, he just wants to be the only lifesaver on the crew.
Well, you were fanning the flames. Like, you're doing the Lord's work. I'm like, he gave an old lady water.
No, she wasn't old. She was young. She was good looking. And
you gave somebody who couldn't handle their weed water.
Okay.
I was waiting to be like, she fell, she hit her head. I got my t-shirt, I wrapped it around the wound. It was just like, I gave her water.
Yeah.
First of all, this is beef. Anytime he tries to sell anything like, oh, I saved a life, I'm like, may probably just help somebody out a little bit. You're damn right. So obviously you need to know him better.
No, that's not true because the woman in question felt like I saved her life. You could tell when she said, I appreciate you in a way that she really did. And then the older woman was looking at me just kind of amazed. She was taken back that I could be so calm in such a a dramatic situation that seemed like a full-blown emergency, when I was like, oh no, it's not that much of an emergency and I got this, so yeah. So Lizzie says it's the terpenes in the drink
Yeah.
are same in weed, and so it helps you get higher, like eating mangoes.
Really? Because I did that one time. I was way too gone, and my girlfriend was like, "Drink this drink." It was like a lemon-based drink, and it. I thought it brought it back down, but
yeah. Lizzie said that she greened out, or one time too, where she took THC and greened out. With that though, I did that was a whiteout. Which is the opposite of a blackout, where I was saying I did that at the Tucson Foodie or Doobie Dante's Fire dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got way too high there, and I'm sitting there, and I literally, it was like, it was just white in front of my eyes. I couldn't see
Isn't that the worst feeling when you get too high? You're
terrified.
Like, especially when you're self-aware, you're like, I'm way too high.
Well, exactly. And so in that situation, if anyone would have came in and helped me out, and in a way, Chrissy from Tucson Doobie did, because she gave me CBD, but I already passed the whiteout stage because I didn't tell anyone I was whiting out. I was just looking like this, like, terrified.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, I mean, I understand what it's like to feel comforted in that situation. So, yeah, in a way, and maybe it's an exaggeration a little bit that, she wasn't going to actually die. But me reminding her that was life-saving in a way. So I still chalk it up as a
it
dub.
is much appreciated. The highest I'd ever been was on an edible. I did too many milligrams. My husband's like, "You're gonna be fine." I'm like, "Okay." Like, I ate it, and with about 90 minutes later, I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" I took way too much, and I have about 7 minutes that we trying to get me back into the house to get me into bed. 7 minutes. The next day, I'm like, "Why did it take so long to get me to bed, guys?" And they're like, it was like 5 or 7 minutes. It felt like 14 freaking hours.
I know, that was the same way with edibles too.
Oh
I thought I was in the bathroom
God.
for like 4 hours on the floor, just staring at my feet, dude. But it probably wasn't that long.
It was for like
but
40 seconds, right? Like, it was wild. And then at one point I was like, "Why are you guys whispering?" And they're like, "We are talking at a normal voice." And then I laughed for like 20 minutes.
And first off, so shout out to Benjamin, who gets it. And he's like, right on, bro. I'm pretty sure he was just talking about me saving life. So I appreciate that. All right. So I'm going to allow Valdez to eat a little bit more earlier this morning. We did some news here. And in case you missed it, well, something like this. Check it out. All right, we got Weirdo with the Weirdo news, or actually it's music news. Whatever Weirdo does, it's Weirdo eccentric.
Hey, I forgive you. I know that you're recovering from a very, very long Easter Sunday.
That is true. I saved a woman's life on Saturday. I'll tell that story a little bit later.
All right.
But yeah, it was a long weekend. But what's going on in the world of music here, Weirdo?
All right, so you got the Canadian indie rock band, the New Pornographers. They have parted ways with their drummer absolutely 100% permanently, and very well deservedly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Let them know why.
Okay, so this drummer, this piece of crap, I'm angry.
Yeah.
But he was arrested on April 9th for possession of child pornography, molestation, and invasion of privacy. The arrest followed reports that he was seen filming an 11-year-old
Not good.
boy in a restroom and also entering and exiting the bathroom with other juvenile males. They
Not
have
good.
witnesses, and they went and made this arrest, and then they found additional crimes. So he can suck it. He's on a $1 million bond. Goodbye.
Yeah, and now the new pornographers are like, should we change our name? 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not talking
That
about like
takes a whole new
that
meaning.
that kind of new pornography. It was cheeky at the time, and
Not
then
anymore.
this dude had to ruin it for
Yeah.
everyone.
Mhm.
Yes, well, I mean, they did the right thing in their stance for sure,
Right.
but I mean, tragic story and just weird and gross all the way around for sure. All right, what else is going on in music news?
Well, we've got Sublime announcing a tribute to a tribute album.
Okay, so I saw they were making a tribute album. What do you mean it's a tribute to a tribute?
So this expanded edition commemorates the 20th anniversary of the original 2005 tribute album.
Okay, so
So the first tribute album in 2005 was came out for the 10-year anniversary of Look at All the Love We Found.
Mhm.
So they went and they had a bunch of artists come on and do collaborations and everything. So they're going to do it again in 2025. 36 songs with contributions from artists like Zach Brown, Band, Pennywise, Jack Johnson, and Slightly Stupid with Stick Figure. So again, I'm excited for it because I love hearing anytime like somebody takes on, another band's song and tries to do it better or really, I think Metallica did it for the Black Album and I really enjoyed it. So I'm actually looking forward to
These
this.
are all going to be Sublime songs. So the original tribute album came out. They were all covers of Sublime songs, reimaginations, and they're coming back. They're going to do it again. So basically re-record all the different Sublime songs now with Jacob and whoever's going to be participating. I wonder if my buddy Gabbo is going to be in that.
Right. And there's going to be 8 previously unreleased tracks. So that'll be nice. So there will be like a little angle.
Okay. I saw that they were in the studio and I was hoping that they were just kind of like, creating music together. And in some of the clips, it does seem like that's going to be the case. There should be some original Sublime music now with Jacob Knoll at the helm. But also, they're probably just 100% working on this project.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there will be another album release here in the next couple months. But this will be coming out on May 9th. And what's really cool is the proceeds from the album will benefit Agape Families, an Oregon-based nonprofit supporting families impacted by incarceration.
Love it. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
that's a good organization.
Yeah, so it's just, I want to make the joke it's a tribute album to a tribute album, but this actually sounds really awesome, and it's for a good thing.
Well, we'll be the judge of that because when we listen to music, we have our nose high in the sky. All right. Anything else happening in music news?
Keanu Reeves is set to play another villain.
Oh,
so he played the villain, but kind of turned good with Shadow in the new Sonic 3 movie. But he is going to be the villain in an upcoming Weezer movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So he's going to play bassist Scott's wife? Is it too soon for that? Too soon? I don't know.
Oh, man, I need some updates on that one. But anyway, so frontman Rivers Cuomo confirmed that the movie is a real thing while appearing at Coachella last weekend. The Weezer film will be a mockumentary-style movie about the rivalry between the band Weezer and Dog Star Keanu Reeves.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Just saw a replay of music news on the podcast broadcast where we're talking about Keanu Reeves being a villain in the Weezer mockumentary, which we're looking forward to because it's going to be a big step for Keanu Reeves' band, which was the name of his band again?
Dog Days?
Yeah, no. Come on, pull it back up because that's we should know that by now. It's an iconic band name and to give all credit where credit is due, Keanu Reeves has had this band for over 30 years. Eventually, we're going to appreciate the legacy
Dog Star.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But, of course, no commercial success, whatever, because maybe the music just not it's just too smart for the general public, Yeah, I mean, it goes over all of our heads and ears. Maybe Dog Star is just much like the movie Bill and Ted's. It's like music that we can't get with in current day, but years from now we'll appreciate, so that's just Keanu doing Keanu things. Stone Cold Steve Austin was up to doing Stone Cold Steve Austin things this weekend at Wrestlemania. Not only was he inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame alongside Bret Hart, where he had some Steve Weisers. He was drinking Steve Weisers all weekend long.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
But the problem is you can't let the man drink unlimited Steve Weisers, then hand him the keys to an ATV.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Or this kind of stuff will happen. Okay, so this is at WrestleMania on Sunday. Stone Cold was given the task to go out there and to announce the attendance of this weekend's WrestleMania.
Right.
And they gave him his classic ATV to go out there, but you could tell he was having a good time before he got the keys. And so the first mishap wasn't even on camera. Basically, this was a fan cam that shot him. He missed the on-ramp. Went somewhere else, and he's like, wait a second. I can't go there.
Nope.
I got to back it up. So then when he goes to attempt to back it up, then he gets the ATV stuck. Luckily, there's a bunch of stagehands there to muscle him out of his scenario here. So they had to literally tail him aside. And this is all his music was hitting. They're like, where's Stone Cold? Where's Stone Cold?
Everybody's like, where is he?
Yeah, Stone Cold's trying to figure out where the on-ramp is.
Which, by the way, he does professional off-road racing now.
Yeah. But dude was buzzed for sure. So then once he got up there, then he flew. That's another reason why he flew down that ramp, right? Because he was already slacking. He was behind time. Now, you look at this video and you're like, that's funny, but not that bad of a situation, right? Right. But then it gets worse because he drives very fast into the guardrail. Yes. And in this situation, watch how fast he'll go. He spins around, and then the wall comes out of nowhere. Boom. Right
Holy
in there.
hell.
Knocks over a fan and actually hits her, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And then he just left middle fingers in the air. Like, he's just like, I'm so gold and suck it. I don't care.
Well, to be fair, he did, before he got into the ring, did check on her real quick. And then there's another photo. I don't know if I shared this right after his live segment of WrestleMania. Him and WWE CEO Nick Khan were seen talking to the fan, making sure that she wouldn't sue.
100%.
Yeah, but in a situation, it's like, are we live streaming a guy getting a DUI right now? Because
Well, and that's not the only woman that was hit.
yeah,
Yeah, Dom was being brought backstage and, he's being chauffeured in the golf cart and, kind of some fans were in the back and kind of started surrounding the golf cart and a woman got clipped.
yeah,
Yeah, so there was some mishaps at WrestleMania this year.
yeah. That's just some of the bloopers that happened from the annual 2-day live event. So it is
Mhm.
live. But yeah, I would say next time, someone chauffeur him down if he's had at least like 12 Steve Weisers. All right, we got a beef tip that we're going to wrap things up with right after this break. Stick around and join us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Yeah, I'm like, Steve, man, come on.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, he needs not to drive. Yeah, that lady was fine, and she was all about it. It was all love. But the fact that it's like, dude, you got one job, and it's get up that big ass ramp, right? Drive down and drive around the ring, which we got plenty of room on this ATV, and you've done it a million times. In fact,
I mean, they took the steps off the corner of the ring, like that way he would be like
clear.
no issues whatsoever. And he's like, F this video screen and
least it
that
was
lady
the-
right there.
At least it was the ATV and not his pickup or the monster truck. Remember
Yeah.
that episode?
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Or the milk or the beer truck.
Yeah,
That was
the
awesome.
beer truck was great. Yeah, they couldn't bring that stuff back, but the ATV was great. Steve actually told a story about it where after he debuted the ATV, Vince McMahon was like, "You like that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I love it." And he's like, "It's yours," right? It's gifted him that.
Mhm.
Actually, Triple H was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame and spoke for over an hour and 15 minutes
Yes.
in his speech. Two notable things in this speech. One, people were waiting to see if he would mention Vince McMahon.
He did.
He did at the end because how could he not? And not only was it his boss and mentor for all those years, he married his daughter, and his children have Vince McMahon's blood coursing through their veins, right?
Right. And I
But-
think he handled it really, really well because he's like, listen, it's complicated and I get that it's complicated, but I can't not say something. Like, I think he handled it really, really well.
Yeah, and got to give credit where credit is due. It's like, yeah, this guy's a creep in his old age, and and got into some freaky shit, but he was brilliant enough to build this empire that I am now running, and I learned like everything from him,
Right.
factually, right, and fell in love with his daughter. So a lot of respect there, but a couple noticeable absences there. Shane McMahon wasn't there, but Linda McMahon was.
Which
and-
might I say, she was looking good.
well, plastic surgery money will do that.
I absolutely, but I'm saying they did her right.
Yeah. But so they but Shane wasn't there. So Shane is Team Vince all day, not happy about the scenario. But Triple H showed him some love. He showed everybody some love. There was one name ominously missing from his speech. Can you guess who it was?
I watched the whole thing.
China?
Nope,
Nope,
China got
nope.
mentioned.
Okay.
Nope, absolutely talked about her.
Yeah. You're gonna when I tell you this name, you're gonna be like, holy shit, how did I not notice this name? And yes, super important in Triple H's career, especially.
Shawn
Who?
Michaels?
No.
No, he kissed Shawn Michaels on the lips.
Yeah, so Shawn Michaels got all the love.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, he mentioned everyone except for this one person.
D'Lo Brown?
No. The Rock.
Oh.
Interesting.
The fucking Rock, dude. Now the Rock and Triple H's
Wait.
careers, they had similar parallels. They came up at the same time. They had a rivalry against each other at the
yeah,
same
they
time.
have a rivalry episode on
Yes,
A&E.
100%, right? And they help make each other. On top of that, though, The Rock is now a part of the board of TKO and also like management alongside Triple H, but The Rock also kind of has like a little bit more power than Triple H. And, it is speculation that The Rock is the type of person that'll just show up and be like, I'm going to go in there and get a bunch of attention. Don't care what you're doing. Don't care what's going to come after this. If I'm going to follow up on it or not, we're just going to see, because The Rock didn't show up at WrestleMania this weekend. And people are mad about that. But The Rock had scheduling conflicts, and there was no reason for The Rock to be involved in the storyline whatsoever, but he was. And, this might annoy Triple H because subconsciously didn't mention somebody that he's supposedly good friends with, who's also on the board with him, but more importantly, wouldn't have a career without. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA, welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Talking wrestling drama here. NT. Yeah, so keep in mind that Triple H in his hour and 15-minute long Hall of Fame speech, who mentioned literally everybody in the room and outside the room, everyone that was instrumental in his legendary career, did not mention The Rock once, even though he had a lengthy, legendary rivalry with him that amassed of like their entire, or The Rock's entire career for sure, all the way from the Intercontinental title to the World Heavyweight Championship title. The Rock and Triple H were intertwined. They were two opposite ends of the spectrum, but they were the yin to the yang, right? There was not one without the other, and they were the perfect counterparts. So they made a lot of great legendary moments during that, and more importantly, now they are sitting in a corporate boardroom together, calling the shots for WWE, but is there some internal power struggle there? Because the Triple H wouldn't even give him a mention, any kind of flowers, and you forget a name that's that notable and that big, and not only in your life and your career, but also like professionally where it stands today. Technically your boss, then a lot of people are assuming that snub was on purpose and also represents a larger issue that is not being addressed today. Drama, T. And I told you that people that gossip, it benefits them, right? And you're like, I don't want any of that gossip. How you liking my gossip now, Valdez?
Dude, I blanked out hours ago.
That's great. That's great. I love how you say that on the air to encourage people to keep listening. That's very supportive of you, Valdez. Excellent job yet again. All right, let's get into our beef tip before we wrap things up here. All right, now I already told you that gossiping would be good for you, but let's see. My other beef tip today is overpriced menu items. Do you ever find yourself spending too much money at the restaurants?
Oh yeah.
All right, so here's a list of overpriced items that you should avoid. They say chips and salsa, first and foremost, used to be free at every Mexican restaurant back in the day. But now you're seeing places charging way too much for it.
What?
Yeah.
Who's charging?
There are other gringo places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're going to pay you for this like Tostino's chips and paste picante sauce. But if it's authentic, then you'll probably get it for free. Egg dishes. Everyone's freaking out about prices of eggs, and the national average is $6.22 per dozen still.
Holy hell.
Yeah, but a 3-egg omelet dish could run you upwards of $20.
Get out of here.
Yeah, some places. Yeah. Simple sandwiches like peanut butter and jelly and grilled cheese. They can be made for next to nothing at home, but you'll pay a premium price when ordering them when eating out. So just keep that in mind. Be like, if you're going to be trying to spend some money.
Who's ordering PB&J at a restaurant?
Someone who's super high, dude.
Right.
It's just horrible.
Yeah, wedge salads. Wedge salads are such a scam because, it's something that like steakhouses and nice restaurants always offer. And it's like, you won't even chop up this lettuce for me. You just give me a quarter of it, throw some blue cheese on. No thanks, but no thanks, dude. But I swear to God, the fancier the place, the more they're like, we only have wedge salad and you're welcome. So it's... Iceberg lettuce is 96% water, by the way, and you won't get any nutritional value from it.
No, not even close.
In fact, actually, to wrap up the beef tip, the darker the greens, the more nutrition they are for you.
Correct.
Nutritious there for you.
Weed.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. There's your beef tip. Those items to avoid. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue to give away tickets for Pierce the Veil. Till then, Robin Nash is up next. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. What are you cracking yourself up about?
Joe's comment.
All right, what'd Joe say? Is it a hating comment?
But if
It is.
you've been
Blanked out hours ago. That's great. Thanks for being here.
knock out all your teeth.
Oh, Valdez.